And there is now only one member from the championship run team, and that one person is Devin Booker. Today, breaking news: Deandre Ayton has been traded from the Phoenix Suns to the Portland Trail Blazers in a blockbuster three-team trade between the Portland Trail Blazers, the Phoenix Suns, and the Milwaukee Bucks. If you weren't on Twitter today, it was a cesspool of negativity and positivity and copium and whatever else you can possibly think of. Every emotion was ran through the Twitter sphere today, and I can only imagine what Suns Facebook was looking like. Before we go any further, welcome to another episode of the He's on Fire podcast. I am your host tonight, Jay Joyce. You can follow me on Twitter right here, JAYY Joyce. I just be talking shit, retweeting, Phoenix Suns stuff and staying current to everything Phoenix Suns and Arizona Cardinals related. And speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, check out Arizona Sports Underground with Joe, who's running the Cardinal Rule. Check that out. We're in full swing of the NFL season, and the Cardinals are looking pretty decent, and a lot of people are turning their heads towards the 602. And yeah, man, the Arizona Cardinals have officially put themselves on the map, and I don't think they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Let's get to the comments real quick. What is going on, Westville? How you doing tonight? Thank you for stopping in. What is going on? P Dog? Man, oh man, what a crazy day, y'all. So, funny story. So I was at I was working and stuff, and I was between properties and all, and in my head I was thinking about this Damian Lillard thing, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm sick of the constant talks of, oh, he should go here. This team has a better package. This team can offer more, because it's the same shit that we heard with the Kevin Durant thing. And Kevin Durant wanted to go to the Phoenix Suns, and the national media was just like, no, we're doing what's best for Kevin Durant, so we're just not going to talk about, the Phoenix Suns at all. And inevitably, Kevin Durant went to the Phoenix Suns, and, all that shit kind of washed away. With this Damian Lillard thing, it was basically kind of the same shit, and I was thinking he was going on that trajectory. So I was going to make a TikTok on the He's on Fire podcast TikTok page, and I was going to break down the teams that had a chance of acquiring Damian Lillard and what it would take. As soon as I go on my phone to set it up, I go on my Twitter just real quick, and then I saw that the news broke, and I thought it was a fake Shams Twitter account, and I looked in it, and I'm like, no, he got the 4 million followers and shit. I was just like, man. And then I looked further into what the trade entailed, and definitely something there. And let's just dive right into today. Shams Charania today just dropped this fucking news on us. The full trade, Bucks getting Damian Lillard, the Bucks sending out Drew Holiday to the Blazers along with a couple picks. The Blazers get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and Toumani Camara, our recent draft pick, our acquisition, if you want to call it that. And the Blazers also got a few draft picks, and then the Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. When I first saw this, I was just like, what the fuck? What kind of trade is this? And Milwaukee was a team I was looking at that could possibly do a Damian Lillard trade, per se, when he first announced that, he put his name into the trade portal and stuff. I thought Milwaukee would be a nice fit with him, and I felt like Milwaukee needed to shake the room a bit and to keep Giannis happy and all that good stuff. And the last couple postseasons have been pretty disappointing for them, so they definitely needed at least something a little different because the roster really hasn't changed. They re-signed Brooke Lopez. They re-signed a bunch of guys and stuff, and it's basically the same roster as it was last season and then the season previous. So it's definitely something needed to be changed. I did not think Drew Holiday would be sent out just because of how valuable he is, but there's probably not much of a market for Chris Middleton, so that's probably why Chris is still on this team as we speak. But it's already circulating that the Blazers are going to be um, dealing Drew Holiday. I wish we would have got Drew Holiday in this, in this whole trade thing, but he's worth $30 million. I don't think we can get it done even if we wanted to. But yeah, let's just break down this whole thing top to bottom. Bucks getting Damian Lillard. This obviously makes them a instant favorite to come out the East. That starting five is pretty nasty with now Damian Lillard, Giannis, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, Jay Crowder, Pat Connaughton. Like I'm spacing here. Well, Chris Middleton. They have about 6-7 players, so they're about 6-7 deep, and they're very long, very scary team. And now you swap in Drew Holiday with Damian Lillard, that just adds a scoring punch that probably what this Bucks team needed with the new coaching and what he's probably going to bring in. And it's not going to be so defensive structured. And this is huge. I mean, if Dame would have went to Miami, Miami would have been struggling because they Miami lost Max Strus. They lost Gabe Vincent. Victor Oladipo is, he's not the Pacers Victor Oladipo, and Kyle Lowry is another year older. And it's like how much does Kevin Love have in the tank? I mean, there's just so many question marks around this team, and considering how much they lost in the offseason before the Damian Lillard shit even happened, it just seemed like not necessarily a championship situation. And there was definitely better teams out there. Milwaukee was definitely one of those. You just didn't see Milwaukee's name floating around and stuff. They did this behind closed doors, and maybe this was the plan from the start, just to see if Miami was able to, throw in just about everybody. But Toronto was in the mix for a bit with trying to get on the Damian Lillard sweepstakes, but they won't get off of OG Anunoby. I do not get what the Raptors are doing. I really don't, because OG only has one season left on his current contract, and it's just like, just let it go, man. He doesn't want to be there. It's the worst kept secret in Toronto that OG does not want to be there. So yeah, Bucks getting Damian Lillard. That's the only thing that they acquired in this trade. If I had to give them a letter grade, obviously an A. I mean, this definitely improves them. If the Bucks were healthy the last two seasons, I strongly believe they go through Boston both times and Miami both times. With the Blazers, they get Drew Holiday. Like I said before, they are going to be flipping him, and I just hope he doesn't go to like the Lakers or the Clippers. Obviously, Boston would be pretty annoying if he went there. I just hope he doesn't go to like the contender, and it'll just be rough. So I hope Blazers don't just like sell cheap just to get some draft capital or something, and really kind of fuck over teams. Then they also got DeAndre Ayton. We're going to talk a little more about that once we get to the Suns section. Toumani Camara as well. I'm a little bummed out about this. I was really excited to see him, but considering how everything's gone this offseason, I don't think we were going to see much of him to begin with. Blazers also got a 2029 first round Bucks pick and Bucks pick swap, which I think they could have gotten another pick or two, but whatever, just to get the deal done. And then that wraps up for what the Blazers were able to capitalize on and I will give them, probably B plus, A minus. This is a really, really good start to their current rebuild. Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shannon Sharp, Deandre Ayton, and Jeremy Grant. That's a solid starting five, if I do say so myself. So I think that this is a good start for them. And then that 2029 first round pick and pick swap uh, from the Bucks could be pretty valuable in 2029, because who's to say that, the Bucks aren't shit then. So, all right, now let's get to the nitty gritty of it all. The Phoenix Suns and what this whole ordeal is about, right? So the Phoenix Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. Okay. This offseason has been very weird. I would say the last couple, just because how things have ended in the last three off seasons. We lose in the finals, and we didn't find out till later, but that's where some animosity started happening with DA and the front office and the coaching staff, coaching staff being Monty. I don't know if you had beef with like Kevin Young or anything like that, but animosity started happening there. We come back with a full swing second season. We come roaring, 64 wins. We look like a very untouchable team, and then we get bounced out the second round. But DeAndre Ayton had a brilliant first round against the Pelicans, and we do not win that series without DeAndre Ayton. If it was just Chris Paul and Devin Booker, we probably don't win that series. DeAndre Ayton was brilliant in that one, but he just was not good in the Dallas one. And that was because, I don't think Monty set him up correctly. And then this last season, coming off that embarrassing, Game 7 loss to the Dallas Mavericks and coming into this new season, there was fatigue and frustration with all the players coming in. DeAndre Ayton was in trade rumors all summer. People bashing his name, this, that, and the third. All of us remember that, media day press conference, and they just some of the people there said like it seemed like someone fucking died. Just how the mood was there, and this team wasn't built in the summer to contend for a championship because we were in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes that happened in the summer. And DeAndre Ayton just was not good this last season. He did not help his case whatsoever with buying the hearts of certain Phoenix Suns, like hearts back and having good faith in him. His defense was awful. His rebounding was, off. His offensive IQ was either hit or miss. And just the offense really just fell. But again, he still ended up, averaging 18 and 10. And that's like in his sleep with a very rough, sort of season. And then we get bounced in the second round by the Nuggets. Very competitive, but DeAndre Ayton, he went out with an injury alongside Chris Paul, and we were just kind of left out there to fight. But all right, going into this offseason, DeAndre Ayton was in trade talks amongst Suns fans. Us on the podcast, we talked about, is it worth keeping him at this point? This is pre-Bradley Beal. We saw a future of having a full offseason with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton being, our three-headed monster, and just build around these three, and we were solid. We acquired Bradley Beal, getting off of the Chris Paul and Landry Shannon fucking shit show. And just about everybody, including myself, really entertained the idea of flipping DeAndre Ayton for like Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, and a bunch of other shit. Because at that point, it's like having 4 max contracts on a team is pretty insane. And there was motherfuckers out there that could really help this team and fit with the mold that we're trying to build this team around. And through the off season, the conversations kept on happening, and push came to shove, we watched DeAndre Ayton in the FIBA tournament. He was great alongside Eric Gordon. And when free agency happened, we literally filled up the whole roster, and it was looking as balanced as any team can possibly get. And DeAndre Ayton did fit in that mold for a minute. And considering how much Frank Vogel and the rest of the crew were talking about how DeAndre Ayton is going to be utilized within this scheme. It gave me a lot of promise because me personally, I'm a DeAndre Ayton fan. I think he's been kind of given a fair shake throughout his 5-year tenure here, and he was just sort of our scapegoat. And I feel for the kid because he's my fucking age, dude. I'm 23. I think he's 24. I can only imagine getting as much hate as he does, and yeah, so with the rumors circulating again, I didn't think we would actually pull the trigger on this. But hey, here we are. DeAndre Ayton is no longer a Phoenix Sun, and he is now a Portland Trailblazer. And I think this is really good for the Portland Trailblazers when it's all said and done. DeAndre Ayton can, rebuild his image and just work on his game, and he's going to get the touches. But the Blazers really need to dial back their guards and shit if they want to keep DeAndre Ayton happy. My personal thoughts on this trade with Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen. Obviously, this isn't the trade I had in mind. I don't think anybody really had this in mind. Everyone got sort of afraid that Yusuf Nurkic was going to be the centerpiece in a one-for-one trade with DeAndre Ayton. I knew that wasn't going to happen at least. I'm in the camp of Yusuf Nurkic being not that bad. I think people really overreact to certain players and stuff, and we've had our instances with Yusuf Nurkic and just negativity with the Portland Trailblazers throughout the years, and we haven't exactly got along with him. He hasn't really gotten along with us, so. I think Yusuf Nurkic is a solid center. I think he does exactly what we're looking for with this team. It's rim rolling, defense, rebounding, and a little bit of spacing, and everything that Yusuf Nurkic does well. DeAndre Ayton kind of lacks in that. We don't need a ball dominant center, and dealing with the issues and trials and tribulations of dealing with DeAndre Ayton again for another offseason. Max contract guy. We have certain expectations. He's making $30 million a year. It's there's a certain level of expectation you want from literally a max player, and to go through all of the same discourse again is just not in the team's image, I feel like. And this trade does not happen unless if Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and probably Frank Vogel too didn't sign off on it, or at least had some sort of discussions about the future of this team and what fits best. In my personal opinion, I think Nurkic will fit better in this current system if Frank Vogel taps into something. And the only knock on Yusuf Nurkic is his injury history. And that definitely worries me too. But I think that's just about everybody, in the league, So let's get back to the comments real quick. What's going on, Low Tone? How you doing tonight? Low Tone Capone, Bobo season. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So getting back into the swing of things. Yeah. Let's just go through these players one by one. So Yusuf Nurkic this last season averaged 13.3 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, almost 3 assists a game, and true shooting about 58%. And Yusuf Nurkic is coming from a Portland system that never relied on defense and never prioritized it. And I'm not making excuses for his current stats and all, but Damian Lillard wasn't the best when finding the big man. CJ McCollum wasn't either when the Portland Trailblazers were good, Nurkic was good. That's just plain and simple. And the Blazers just haven't been good for a while since like 2019. Um, so I have faith that Yusuf Nurkic will work here, and it's really just a help. And we got his counterpart. We got Drew Eubanks. We got the Buds together. So they're going to have some sort of you know chemistry there. And plus, we got Bull Bull, and we got Chimezi Metu. And like we have some big guys here, and then we can run the small ball five as well with Kevin Durant and a few other players and such. So I'm not worried about the center position. I think people are kind of overblowing, um, just the center position in general and actually like what we need. Of course, I would have wanted DeAndre Ayton to be our center because, I'm a DeAndre Ayton fan. And I think he was capable of doing it, but something told Book, Kevin Durant, Matt Ishbia, and Frank Vogel that, DeAndre Ayton is the guy, and it was just simple as that. But yeah, like I said, I have full faith in Josef Nurkic to be, you know, sort of locked in, and he hasn't been locked in for a team for a while, and this will probably light a fire under him. Um, so with Nurkic, I'm totally cool with. Nasir Little, I'm not too familiar with Nasir's game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not watched a ton of Portland games, but I think this is his second year. I believe he is 6'5", 220. He does play the power forward position. He's probably definitely a bench guy. Probably a good rotational piece. If you ask any Blazers fan, they'll tell you that they're a big fan of Nasir Little. He averaged 6.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, almost a assist, and 55% true shooting. And I believe his 3-point percentage is pretty decent. Yeah, it's 36.7% this last season, and yeah, so he's a solid player, cool acquisition. Again, I'm not too familiar with Nasir's game, and I'm excited to see it if he fits in the rotation. And I feel like he can because I have seen, his like just in passing games, like he has a quick step and he has a pretty decent jump shot. So at least we know Nurkic. And the thing with this Nurkic thing too is like he's going to be playing like 20 to 25 minutes a game considering like one his injury stuff, so we don't want him to get gassed or fucking hurt himself. But we got Drew Eubanks, which he's a pretty durable guy. We have Chimezi Metu, like we have Bol Bol, like we have just like disposable centers, and as long as our starting center is Nurkic and he plays hard for those 25 minutes, I think this team is going to be pretty insane. What's up, John? How you doing? Rocky Red because it's Stan J. That's the last thing I am is a Aiden Stan. John, are you in those Facebook Suns groups? I'm curious. Um, I just wanted to see what they said. I'm not on Facebook like that, but no, I do not have a DA jersey. I just have a Kevin Durant one, and then I have a Booker one. But I'll probably buy a DeAndre Ayton one, probably a Valley one. I still don't have a Valley one. I need a cop one. Blazers fans vouch for Nasir, so I'm looking forward to it. I think he's going to be relatively solid. Yeah, so let's go to the next player here. Keon Johnson. Again, another guy I'm not too familiar with his game. I believe he's a undrafted rookie. He only averaged 10 minutes, 37% from the field, 34 from three, 4.7 points per game. He's another guard, so yeah, we're probably gonna cut him. Honestly, best of luck to him. I'm not gonna trip over it. Yeah, let's get into the most controversial guy here, Grayson Allen. Okay, I'm not in the Grayson Allen camp. Okay, um, I've never liked this guy. I do. He pissed me off. What team was he on before the Bucks? Can someone help me out with that? But yeah, I'll probably be copping an Aiden jersey. I still want a McHale one too. I feel like I need a McHale one. And to money. Yeah, the Facebook Suns group is they're filled with idiots, dude. Grayson Allen is a disgrace to basketball. Okay, I want y'all to hear me out. Okay. Yeah, exactly, John. I was just about to say that. Thank you. So Evan has preached for years, like through his old podcast, through this podcast, even on the Suns Jam session, they talk about this as well. What we've been lacking this last season, and you can probably say the season before that, is a fuck shit up guy. Okay, Grayson Allen is definitely that guy, and he ruffles some feathers. He pisses players off. Players know him, and Grayson Allen knows the players to fuck with. I don't think he's more disliked than Patrick Beverly or Draymond Green or anything like that. He's just a fucking guy that trips people and could be dirty at times. Uh, yeah, Jazz and Grizzlies. That's what it was. Yeah, I knew he was on a team or two before, but Grayson Allen last season, he was a solid rotational piece for Milwaukee. Pretty durable guy as well. 61% true shooting, 10 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game. Average 27 minutes. Here's the thing I'm looking at. Okay, I think y'all already know what I'm looking at here. 40% from three, and I don't know the volume amount of shots he was taking, but that's pretty impressive. 40%, regardless of what position you are or what sort of caliber player you are. But if you're playing 27 minutes and you're averaging 40% from three, that's really good. And I think he might steal a bench position with numbers like that. And he's also 44% from the field, which is really solid too. And just to go off what John was saying, like we need that fuck shit up guy. Like that's a guy that we did not have last year. Like if you had to pick anybody, it was Josh Okogie, and he would just like defend you to death, And if you don't like that answer, it's fucking Damian Lee because like as soon as he got stripped, like he would just fucking like foul somebody. But we did not have that fuck shit up guy. Every championship team has one. Bruce Brown was that guy for the Nuggets. Golden State, they have Draymond Green. Before that, Milwaukee had probably Bobby Portis. He really disturbed, what we have going on, and just keep going down the list. Every team has that fuck shit up guy, and yeah, I think he's going to be really nice with this team. And the Suns already announced all these players on the team already, so the trade is official. He'll sack Tab. We need him to go for the Achilles. I'm kidding. I'm not wishing injuries on players. Yeah, he's a good playoff rotational player. And Grayson Allen got a lot of shit for that one last possession in that elimination game against Miami when he didn't like shoot it at the three and he like drove it in and the clock ran out and shit. That was not his fault. That was straight Boonhoser bullshit. Grayson Allen's trips Giannis his steps and teams jumping the jump. He's a solid defender, man. I think he gets a lot more shit than he probably deserves. I mean, that Alex Caruso thing was like pretty bad, The dude tripping was one thing. It just shows like I don't want to say like this shows like how competitive he is because it just sounds like me like condoning his behavior. I'm definitely not, but he's just that fuck shit up guy, and I think that's exactly what the Suns need, and I think he's going to be really good for us, really, really good. I'm actually excited for Grayson Allen on this team, and people already don't like us, so like, let's like Milwaukee had Myers Leonard and Grayson Allen on the team at the same exact time, so I don't think we can get much lower than that. But Grayson Allen, I think, is a solid addition to this roster. I think potentially he can be like a seventh, eighth man off the bench, and like I can see him being in the Torrey Craig role. Honestly, um, I can definitely see his rebounding numbers going up a bit. He averaged almost 3.5 rebounds. I can see that going to 4 or 5. If he's put in the right position. But I'm not going to go over rotations yet. I'm still trying to digest, this trade because it's just weird because we've watched DeAndre Ayton for 5 years now. We've seen the ups and downs with him. I'm going to miss him. I'm still going to root him on. He's our number one pick. I think to this day, out down the hill, he was the right pick for us for that time. We were already too guard heavy. I was not a Luka fan going into that draft. I was not a Trae Young guy going into that draft. And we needed a center. We needed a big. We needed, we needed to, shake the room. And DeAndre Ayton was that for us. And we got 2 point guards for him to made him look excellent. And that was Ricky Rubio and Chris Paul. And sometimes shit just doesn't work out, and you just kind of have to deal with it. Let's just go back to the comments, man. Everybody that's here, let me know your thoughts on the trade. Give me a letter grading. Give me some thumbs up or something. Me personally, I would give this trade for us probably. I'm leaning towards B minus, C plus. I think every team here wins. Okay, I think this is one of the better 3-team trades I've seen in years. I think this is good top to bottom. Bucks, if look at the Bucks bench unit, I'm not fucking worried about that bench unit. With the Blazers, this is a nice stepping stone in the right direction post Damian Lillard era, with a nice young core to rebuild off of, and this is they have like their full roster together, and now they're under Chauncey Billups, and a very defensive-minded guy. I think he could really help this Blazers team, get above it all. And then this current Suns roster, we're probably going to cut Keon Johnson, and I see us cutting Ish too. Yeah. There might be another trade in the works before media day. I have no idea, but I just want this roster to be set in stone. So there might be something that brews up in the next day or two with some of the players we acquired, but we'll see. Let's see. Uh, Evan is jerking his Nurkic's in tears of joy as he is headed out the door. Yeah, it's safe to say that Evan didn't really like DeAndre Ayton like that, which is fine. It was as 50-50 of a fan base you can possibly think of. It's either you hated him or you loved him. You're never really in the middle. Westville gives a thumbs up. I totally agree. I think this is a good move for us. And I'm not even talking about the CBA aspect. That's something to consider. We split that 30 million up. We have easier trade chips down the line. This just frees us up a bit. So Huntstar says, I disagree. The Suns should have gotten Drew and the Bucks were getting Dame. I bet that conversation did happen and it just didn't work in that way. Trust me, I would have loved Drew Holiday on this team. Are you kidding me? Drew Holiday, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. Who the fuck do you put in at the 4 at that point? Do you put a shooter? Probably still do. Well, okay, Kevin Durant, and then Nurkic, obviously. So that's a nasty 5. Yeah, that's a nasty five. But hey, John, I don't know if you know this, but can we get Drew Holiday? Can we hit up Portland and be like, hey, like we're interested? I don't know if that's possible. AKA he is masturbating because Aiden's good. Ah man. So I hope us Suns fans don't, attack another player like we did with DeAndre Ayton. We like all of us know DeAndre Ayton wasn't good this last season, and you know, I, like he just wasn't good, and I think all of us can move on from there. That the DeAndre Ayton era is over, and I'm glad it is because I am so sick of talking about speculation around DeAndre Ayton if he's going to be there, if he's not going to be there. Is his mindset going to be there? Is his motor going? This, that. Like, I was getting so worn down, I didn't even want to bring him up anymore. Drew Holiday will be on the Heat. I can see it. I just hope like Drew doesn't go to like the Lakers or some shit, because it's like the Lakers got like all those fucking players, and I feel like they can flip them for a guy like Drew because the Blazers will give in. Um, yeah, I can see it. No cap space for Drew. Yeah, I don't think we can trade anybody to begin with anyway. So DeAndre Ayton was like our only piece. So um, does Grayson Allen give it 20 games, Hunt? I think Grayson Allen is going to fit pretty nicely on this. And I don't know Grayson's corner three numbers, but if it's anywhere near Utah's, we're definitely cooking with grease in that aspect. Um, before we get out of here, does anybody else have any insight, any opinions before we bounce out of here? What happens for his DA logs a double double or ski? So we have about 3 weeks until the season starts, like 3 or 4 weeks. Probably DA logs a double double first. I feel like Evan's kind of slow. But all right. Objectively, I'm sure he's going to be a good contributor on the court, but I'm not going to like it. Hey, no, that's totally fair. The way that people are acting with Grayson Allen is kind of like what I remember when we first acquired Jay Crowder. They're relatively sort of the same player. Not really. Grayson is a better shooter. You'll pull that motherfucker. You think DA will become an all-star? I can see it. I mean, he's going to get more touches, I believe. I think Chauncey is going to give him the ability to flourish. This is a nice fresh start for him, and I mean, we've seen Da at his best. He's a top five center in the league. He's a top five defensive center in the league when he wants to be. He's the whole package. He's quick. He's durable. He's adequate. He can kind of shoot it from anywhere. His bag is deep. It's really deep compared to a lot of centers in the league. And if he doesn't become an all-star anytime in his career, it'd definitely be a underachievement for sure. That's not a fair question. It should be Evan skating 50 times or okay. So yeah, the tables have turned. I would say Evan skating 50 times before DA double doubles at that point. You guys are funny, man. But yeah, any other? Okay. Da will completely be different on this team. He will be a major part of their shit offense. Take that into account with everyone. Yeah, 100%. I think the shots are going to be dialing back with guys like Shaden Sharp and Jeremy Grant, and more focusing around the tandem of DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Simons, and Scoot Henderson. I don't think they're going to be terrible. I mean, obviously, like they're not going to be like a 40-win team, but like I can see them winning like 25, 30, games and stuff. I definitely can see them Going, oi, cunts. What's what's going on, creepy? How you doing tonight? We are just wrapping up. Once I end the show, please watch. From the beginning. I think we covered a lot here. But overall, I have good faith in what Matt Ishima is doing. I think he's bought a lot of good faith with Suns fans. I don't think this is something we should dwell over. I think getting off DA gets that monkey off our back, and we just got to worry about him. Nurkic is going to be healthy, like consistently for us, and that's sort of the issue that we're kind of trying to wrap our hand around. I know there's some Twitter personalities that hate Nurkic and want DA on this team. I wish DA was on this team. I wish it would have worked out, but I'm so sick of talking around this guy, and I'm wishing the best of luck and supporting this problem now. I think I think this trade is good for us going forward. We have some stuff to deal with in the off season, and hopefully in the off season we're talking about how we can possibly repeat a championship run. So yeah, I think it'll be the same as Mikal. Mikal is the first option in Brooklyn, like DA will be in Portland. We weren't surprised that Mikal thrived. We just knew, yeah, like Mikal thrived off of opportunity that he had here when just about everybody went down. Like who else is going to get those fucking shots up? It wasn't going to be Chris. Book was down. Deandre Ayton was basically etched out of any offensive scheme, and the rest of the fucking starting unit. I mean, like you don't want them shooting. So like who else is it going to be? And Mikal, took the horns and ran with it, and he was part of one of the craziest fucking trades ever to happen on the trade deadline. And Mikal is one hell of a player. He's one of my favorite Suns players ever. One of my favorite players in general. And I mean, he did a lot of good for himself. But like Brooklyn and New York people saying like, oh, that's the Suns held him back and stuff. No, Mikal played his role and he did it brilliantly. And the times that we needed Mikal to step up, he didn't necessarily do that. We definitely could have needed that Mikal, like in our finals run or even in the Maverick series, because like where was he? So here. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna be going to the gym right now, and you're probably looking at the time like Jason. It's like almost 11. Yeah, I like going to the gym when like no one's there, and so like all the machines are available, and I can do my thing and not feel rushed. The Suns are deeper with serviceable, proven talent now versus vet minimum guys who were hoping would pan out this year when injuries happen. Quality depth is in there and can start. Yeah, the thing with the national media right now, like when this trade happened, just about all of them were like, "This is a win for all three teams." The Suns get a bunch of depth, and they get off of that DeAndre Ayton situation, and they're going into the season full head of steam with a pretty stacked roster. Blazers have all the acquisitions to start a pretty decent rebuild, and then they have a vet that they can flip for draft capital or for another vet guy. Then Bucks, they give fucking Damian Lillard to pair alongside Giannis. This is this is great, And I saw some fuckers being like, why would the Suns help Milwaukee? The last time we were gunning for Milwaukee was like we got bounced out of the second round. So you can't be thinking about an Eastern Conference fucking team. Like, let's worry about what we got going on in the West. Us making these moves isn't trying to go after fucking Jokic, man. If you're gunning for one player, like you're just gonna lose every fucking time. Like we're gonna like outrun, outman, outposition that whole Nuggets team. I think the Nuggets are gonna be good this year. Don't get me wrong, but I'm taking our current roster over any roster in the league right now, bar none. Every day, twice on Sunday is what Evan likes to say, and I totally agree with that. Yeah, before I split, I'm currently putting together my comic shit, It's coming along pretty well. I'm very excited. I've acquired a good amount of shit. I still got to read a good amount. So, but yeah. And then I started watching Attack on Titan too. It's hard for me to get past the whole cartoon aspect, so I really have to like force feed it down and all. And no, it's really good. I'm almost done with season one, I believe. Very, very, very good. But I think that will wrap up this Suns talk. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna fucking hit it hard. And I've listened just about every Suns podcast I've released today, and I think all of us are on the mass consensus that like this trade is fucking weird, top to bottom. For us is not exactly what we had in mind, but on the flip side of that, we're off the DeAndre Ayton era. We can move on. We have a center that is, you know, he's there between the ears, and then he could be pretty serviceable to us when healthy, and that he's a solid guy. So, and then with the additional depth that we got, it's just going to make this team a lot stronger, and it gives more pieces for Vogel and Kevin Young to, put together. And we have an abundance of riches right now of many talented players, and I'm really looking forward to this. Do a man bun episode. I'm getting a haircut soon, so my man bun will be like this. But yeah, let's wrap it up here. Please subscribe to the Heat on Fire podcast channel. Please like, subscribe, share with everybody else. We've been having issues with Anchor and stuff, so some episodes haven't been uploading on there. So when Evan has some free time, he'll upload this episode along with a bunch others. I'm just going to email them to him. Check out the Arizona Sports Underground. Arizona Cardinal football is in full swing right now, and it's pretty fun to watch right now. And this Niners game, I'm not really looking forward to. I think we're going to get fucking, messed up. But hey, we might pull out another upset. But check out the Cardinal Rule. Check out the rest of Arizona Sports Underground if you want to check out more Arizona sports content. And tweet at me at JJoyce, JAYYY Joyce. If you have any questions, if you have any internal dialogue you feel like you need to spew out, just message me. And yeah, man, go Cardinals and go Suns, y'all. Have a great night. Rest up. And to quote Matt Lissy here, love your family.